This great piece by Kristen Clark over at Huffington Post. Just wanted to point out to you, stop perpetuating the myth of voter fraud to distract from the reality of massive voter suppression. And they're quoting the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law. They say Pennsylvania adopted a strict voter ID law that was found to violate the state's constitution by imposing an unreasonable burden on the right to vote that was struck down in 2014. Nonetheless, that did not stop poll officials from requiring the ID. Same thing in Delaware as in county, as in Berks County, Chester County, Dauphin County, Erie County, Lancaster County, and Luzerne counties. Even though it was illegal to throw people out for not having the right ID, they did it. Across Texas in Denton, Tarrant, Grimes, Harris, Medina, and Montgomery counties, they continue to seek photo ID from voters despite an en banc ruling from the Fifth Circuit that found that state's photo ID law had a discriminatory effect on the state's Black and Latino voters. In Bexar County, a temporary restraining order was issued mandating that all officials remove all illegal voter ID signs and correct its website and hotline with the updated voter ID rules. In Durham, North Carolina, e-poll books, failed on the morning of the election. Voters were told to leave and return once the problem was corrected. Now, keep in mind, Durham is a progressive area. That afternoon, a court order was secured that extended, so people were sent away from the polls. That afternoon, a court order was secured that extended the poll hours at several impacted polling sites. It's unclear how many voters learned about that extension and were provided a fair opportunity to cast their votes. So you have voter suppression in North Carolina. You have voter suppression in Texas. You have voter suppression in Pennsylvania. In Wisconsin, a strict voter ID law, the subject of long and protracted litigation, resulted in depressed voter turnout. The impact was starkest in Milwaukee, where voter turnout rates dropped by 51,000 between 2012 and 2016. Milwaukee's chief election official attributed the low turnout and problems to the polls to the state's restrictive voter ID law. In commenting on the law this summer, a federal judge found that, quote, the preoccupation with mostly phantom election fraud leads to real incidents of disenfranchisement. Student voters were not immune. Poll workers in Erie County, Pennsylvania, home to at least 7 higher education institutions, unlawfully turned away scores of college students who presented their student photo ID to vote. College students, this is illegally turned away. College students in Boca Raton, Florida, were turned away after election officials told them that their Florida Atlantic University address was considered a hotel and not a residence. This was illegal. Arizona is an open carry weapon state. Voters in Maricopa and Pima counties, large Hispanic and Native American populations, reported visibly armed individuals standing near the exits or entrances of polling places, attempting to interact with the voters. This was an ugly election. We need a national right to vote. It is just that simple. We need a national right to vote.